Previously on Survive the Challenge. It's time to switch up the dynamic of the game.
There was nothing anybody could do to me because I had 2 rocks that was at least going to carry me to the final 4.
This challenge is called Equilibrium. This challenge is live. Justin's out, Superman's out right off the bat.
That was a little embarrassing for him.
Going home or winning everything. And since it's a live transfer, Danny falls and Destiny is crowned our winner, a celebratory yoga pose at the top. She has not only won safety, but she has won food for the first time today. She will now pick 2 other players to enjoy the food with her.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, the power couple, pulled me to the side.
Talk to me, to work with me, let's change this game. He would hear nothing.
I'm not just gonna vote out Mark just because we don't know what's going on.
Fortunately, your game is over. I'm handing your bandana. Let's hope you guys are more cautious than her moving forward. You can head back to camp. You know what, guys? So, instead of heading back to camp, we're gonna do a sudden death challenge.
So basically I had the best opportunity possible, and I released my rock and I'm watching it, I'm waiting for it to roll, and it just hits the ground and stops.
Your game is over. I'm handing your bandana. It's proved again that you deserve to stay. So, we'll see who comes out on top of this top 4. Head on back to camp. Survive the Challenge is brought to you by the Newport Richey Recreation and Aquatic Center, sponsored by Urban Air Adventure Park. It is now 4:45 in the afternoon, and our contestants are collecting their thoughts after our 3rd team evaluation and our surprise sudden death.
Going into team evaluation, we pretty much had a game plan together. Savannah having 2 safety rocks, and one of them was going to be given to JB, and we figured, all right, so he'll play that to save Justin. Now, unfortunately, I got no protection, 0 protection. I'm surrounded by nothing but kryptonite.
So Justin did a great job of kind of figuring out, putting himself in our situation of what we would do with our safety rock. He knew that he had a sense that Destiny wanted me to stay in the game as a way of trying to get one of us to the end. And so ultimately I was safe, but Destiny was not safe, and unfortunately the 2-2 tie resulted in a revote.
So I'm at the bottom of the barrel of elimination again. Y'all, really? Again? What more do I gotta say? What more do I gotta do? Jeez.
So Destiny gets voted out, and Andrew throws the twist in there that we're suddenly gonna go to rocks again and eliminate another person.
I was walking out of there with the peace of mind that I could have sworn we had one more challenge to do for him to eliminate us, but it had to be a sudden death, and he kept saying, you only have 1 day, and and it's gonna go fast. So I was just like, oh my goodness, bro, there's no way. Like, I was just like, my team is I don't know what's gonna go happen.
Unfortunately, I lost my best ally of them all, the one I was the closest with. I lost Justin, which hurt a lot because I felt like it was always the plan from the get that it was gonna be like me and Justin to the end. We were gonna protect each other. Like, I felt like I could trust him more than JB, more than Superman, more than anyone. And it really sucked that he had to leave, and I felt a little bit vulnerable at that point because I'm like, do I really trust JB? Like, do I really trust Superman? I don't really know. They could turn on me at any point, and I thought, Justin and me knew we had each other's back, and that wasn't really something that I had with anyone else in my alliance.
Justin had the advantage of going last, so he just needed to beat my rock, and he saw how ours all rolled farther, and he threw it very light, and fortunately for me, it was short enough that I was able to advance, and suddenly I was in the final 4, and I had a chance to basically save myself and get to the final 3.
So now, final 4. We made it here. I didn't come this far to only come this far. No, I want to be the #1 man standing, the last man standing.
It's been a long day for our remaining 4 contestants. We started this day at 6:30 a.m. After 3 challenges, 5 contestants have left the game. we're ending the day right where we started it, here at the Newport Richey Recreation and Aquatic Center. It's now 6 p.m. and it's time for our final challenge.
So we have been at the park, I've been outside all day long. I'm drenching sweat, I'm tired, I can't think properly.
So traveling now, we get to be indoors, you know, we get the AC, so that was great.
So when they said we had to arrive to the rec, I'm thinking, okay, finally we get some cool air. I'm about to just sit back and relax, and probably the next challenge is gonna be kind of rough.
The second we walk in, I see basketballs, and I am the only girl. I'm 5 foot. I'm the smallest person out there. So I was so nervous going into this challenge. I was like, I'm gonna come in dead last.
I found out that the final competition is over at the rec center. You kidding me? The rec center, the place where I'm at 24/7. That rec center, that's my rec center. They don't even stand a chance. I'm the one that's there at 5 a.m. I'm the one that's the last one to leave around 8 p.m. There is no way I'm losing on my turf.
Congratulations to our final 4 players remaining in the game. You 4 have won the right to compete in the final. In this final competition, you guys will be battling it out against each other in order to win safety at our last team evaluation before our bench of players who have been cut from the game will decide your fate. The final challenge starts with you shooting a free throw. Once you've made your shot, you will run to the opposite end of the court and untie a bag that contains blocks. You will repeat this 3 times. Once you have all 3 bags of blocks, you will eat 6 muffins. Then you will run down to the opposite side of the gym and check your color key. Memorize the color order, then run back and stack the 10 colored blocks in that same order. If you need to revisit your color key, you must first make a free throw shot. Once you believe your colored blocks are stacked correctly, you call to have them checked. If your stack is approved, then you will stack your remaining blocks across the table and then knock down your colored tower. The first to do so will win the final challenge and earn the final safety of this game. Now, this will allow you to decide who you're bringing with you to the final 3, where you will explain to the bench why you deserve to win this game. Get ready, get set, go! All right, our contestants are off on their final challenge of the day. They've got to make this basket. All right, Savannah makes it, JB makes it, Mark makes it too. Let's go, come on! All 3 of them are untying their bags, and Danny makes it. Everyone's untying bags. This challenge is a big one. Everybody's fighting for safety to guarantee their spot in the final 3.
You know, I felt like at that point, me and Danny were like the biggest threats, and I felt like if I didn't win, you know, if Danny could get them on his side, they were gonna come for me. So I felt like I had to win.
Savannah gets her bag first, and she's running back. Mark's right on her tail. We've got 2 more bags to get after this. JB's got his bag. Danny's got his bag. Mark and Savannah take a shot. They both miss. This gives time for Danny and JB to catch back up.
So this last final challenge was, it appeared to be a physical challenge, but I think more so it was a mental challenge and trying to remember the order and the sequence of how you have to complete this challenge. I think that was a very underrated part of it.
So, you know, after you make a shot, you have to run down and untie this bag, run it back, then you gotta shoot another basket.
I need to have both hands to be able to untie the knots, but then you gotta remember your basketball to take it back.
The basketball part, I play semi-pro. Free throws, nothing, easy, you know, water.
Danny's up to the line. He shoots, misses. JB makes it. Savannah makes it. We got a race between JB and Savannah. Who's gonna untie their puzzle pieces first?
I did really well. I'm horrible at basketball. I was up there, I was, neck and neck with JB at the beginning. I was doing great.
The man still ain't never played basketball a day in his life. So at that point, I'm just like, let me just hope for the best. Let me just throw one in the air. Hopefully I don't airball it.
Superman with an air ball, and Danny misses. They can't connect the second shot. Every one of these missed shots allows more time for JB and Savannah to build their lead as they untie their second bag of blocks. and Superman still can't make that shot. JB's on his way. Oh, we have a collision. Savannah's back with her bag. JB's at the line. Makes it on his first shot again. Mark makes it, and he's finally done. Danny's still rattled from his hit with the Man of Steel, I guess. Still missing a little bit. Savannah's coming up. JB coming for his third bag to untie it now. Savannah will be on her third if she makes this. Mark finally untying his second bag.
Trying to remember all those individual steps was so crucial to success in that challenge. Not just doing them quickly, but also doing them in order and not forgetting and getting ahead of yourself.
JB's coming in with his third and final bag. He's got to get started on the food portion. He's the first one to make it here. He has to eat 6 muffins before he can move on to checking his color key. Savannah's up at the line to take her third and final shot. She makes it. She's got to shorten that big gap that JB's built up.
After you get that other basket, there are this plate with 6 muffins that you have to devour.
JB needs some milk, okay. Savannah's coming up. She's gonna start the eating portion. We got a race between JB and Savannah again. Superman's flying up right behind them. We've got a race.
When we had to eat muffins, my mouth was dry, okay? I didn't have nothing to eat, no drink, no water. I had nothing. So when we ate the muffins, I'm like, oh, this is easy. They're like small little muffins, you know? I'm like, I could just swallow these. No, if I swallowed them, I probably would have choked out, okay?
I was doing great until I got to the muffins. Apparently, I can't eat. I had no water. I couldn't breathe. That was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Then when it comes time to the tray of muffins, I knew I was gonna smoke everyone. I knew I was gonna smash JB, smash Danny, smash Savannah. Remember, when you look back, what was the only thing I ate that day? A butt-naked pizza.
Savannah's coughing a little bit. We got our 3 original green team members here. All right, Danny's finally coming back. If he wants to have a chance in this game, he's got to fight hard now. Hopefully he's better eating muffins than he is at shooting baskets. He's been playing from behind the whole time.
Got really far behind by missing a lot of shots in basketball.
Danny, Savannah, Mark, and JB all on their muffins. JB calls first. Go ahead, check your key, check your key. JB's the first one to go get his key. Mark, you're good. Superman's closing the gap. He's got that super speed, but does he have that super memory? All right, JB's coming back. How much did he decide to memorize? Superman taking a look at his color key. All right, he's coming back. Let's see how much he was able to memorize. Savannah and Danny are still stuck eating their muffins, falling further and further behind in this challenge. JB decides to go back after stacking half his blocks. Takes the first shot and he makes it again on the first shot. Superman's heading back. Gotta take another look. They're both taking the conservative approach. He misses. Savannah's still working on getting those muffins down. Danny working on his muffins. He's going quick, but is it too little too late at this point? Superman taking another shot, and he airballs again. JB's coming back. Danny stuffing his face with these muffins. JB came back just to switch 2 blocks. That time could cost him. He's gonna have to take another shot to look at the color key again. Oh, JB misses. Mark makes his shot. This gives him the lead. JB misses again. He's falling behind.
Andrew was saying, hey, he's at his last stage. I'm like, oh, shoot, I gotta hurry up. I try to hurry up. I'm running, ran back and forth, forgot the key, gotta go all the way back, forgot the ball, forgot to bring the ball to me. So it was multiple times I was running back and forth. My mind was not processing because once again, I was tired. My brain was fried. I had brain farts. I didn't know what to do.
Danny, you're good, go! Savannah got the thumbs up. She's heading down to check her color key. Superman is on an island by himself, stacking his blocks.
So when it came time to memorize the code that was on the list, I kind of kept repeating like the numbers to myself and the colors to myself. I kept going da 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 da, and then went about it.
Andrew.
3, good, you can work on your dominoes. Superman's working on his blocks. JB's working on his tower. JB, you're good. Where are Savannah and Danny? They are gonna need a miracle in this challenge to catch back up. Mark's gonna make an attempt for the win. Let's see if all his blocks fall over. Mark wins, baby! Good job. Does it feel like an important moment? Does it feel like you needed to win it?
Oh yeah. Last, my memory serves me correct. Ain't none of y'all picked me on that first challenge. We had one little strange moment when I knocked the pegs down and it hit and it wouldn't tip over. I'm looking at it like, yo, this cannot be happening. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself like, yo, nobody is beating me on my turf. I already knew I had that challenge in the bag. And when it wasn't falling, I'm like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Then all of a sudden, I saw it leaning. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Then it finally falls over. And I was like, yo, that's game. That's game.
I went from like first or second place to dead last, but we had talked beforehand. We were just hoping it was gonna be one of the three of us and not Danny who won, and we were gonna protect the rest of us. So I kind of had to put all my trust into my alliance and hope that they had my back, because I really hit a brick wall with the muffins.
I made a comeback, but it was too late. Mark crushed the end of that challenge, and so I knew at that point I really had a uphill climb of convincing them to keep me.
The part that made me so upset is just that I thought I was ahead the whole time, the whole game plan, because I was ahead of him. I don't know how he caught up. I believe it was like the muffins, and I just took my time and said, hey, he's way behind. And I'm thinking he's like Danny, because Danny was way behind. So I'm like, yeah, I got this in the bag. You know, just taking, and this is what I get. That's exactly what I get. So I was kind of upset, but it was a great game.
Well, you know, growing up was a little rough. I'm from West Philadelphia, born and raised. And it was not good for me, you know. I was picked on at school, picked on in my neighborhood constantly, and it was nothing, it was something that I never really spoke to my loved ones and family members about. So, you know, as I've gotten older, you know, I started to really channel my energy into physical activities, fitness, you know, just to try to boost my own confidence, because growing up I was not the most confident kid at all. That's one of the things I like to do whenever I'm training my trainees, you know, to build their confidence and get their health better and make them feel like a better person than they already are. You know, it worked for me, it could work for anybody.
Survive the Challenge is brought to you by the Newport Richey Recreation and Aquatic Center, sponsored by Urban Air Adventure Park. Congratulations to our Final Four. Seated before me are four of our strongest competitors out here that have made it all the way into the end. We've got Savannah, we've got JB, Danny, and Superman, our most recent challenge winner. We've got a few questions for you guys, so let's get right into it. Superman, you had an emotional display when you won your challenge. You were excited. Tell me about what you were feeling, what was going through your mind.
Happy, disrespected.
Elaborate on disrespected.
Well, first challenge, I've experienced something I've never experienced before in my life. When it comes to picking teams, I was picked dead last. I've never experienced that before, kept my head held high, but in the back of my mind, there was a fire lit.
So in the game right now, there's only obviously one person left who is one of those captains picking teams. Does that play a factor for you?
Honestly, no.
Not your decision for this vote?
No.
Danny, I'm guessing like everyone out there, you felt like you needed to win that challenge. How did it feel out there when you were coming from behind for most of the challenge?
You know, it really cost myself playing the basketball. I think my 5 or my 4-year-old daughter could have done better than me at times. That got me way behind. You know, I didn't think that was going to be the hardest part of the challenge for me, but it clearly was. And I tried to make up some time on the muffins. I think I did a little bit, but you know, it was a little bit too late, and these guys were killing it.
JB, when you got back to your muffins, you had a lead, but you attacked them. You went through those muffins faster than anyone else went through their muffins. So tell me about it.
To be very honest, it was not easy. Like, it was very dry. And I was looking at it, I was like, bro, I need some milk. Bro, I kid you not. I don't know what was going on. I put 2, I was like, oh, I'm straight. I'm straight. Put 3, I was like, oh no. Oh no, I should never did that. So, and then like when I tried to swallow, it was stuck. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die. Like I think I'm gonna die or something like that. But it was exciting, and I had to like, you know, slow down sometimes. So it was nerve-wracking.
You got to the muffins before anyone else. You finished your muffins before anybody else. Did you see Mark coming past you when it came to the point of stacking the blocks?
I honestly thought he was still behind me, and like once I heard you say he was down 1 muffin, for some reason, I took my time on the muffin, the last muffin. I was like, all right, I'm ahead of him. He's nowhere. And then when I see him take a shot, I'm like, wait, he's ahead of me. And then I started rushing, and then I missed 3 of my shots, and I was like, he might have it in the bag. He might get it.
Savannah, so something I noticed when you played is you were moving, you were running. You started out neck and neck with first. I watched you slip into second, slip into third. Did you feel like you were losing your lead, your momentum?
Yeah, those muffins killed me. I could not even breathe. I was choking the entire time. I needed water before the whole thing even started, so I could not even breathe.
Mark, were you guys able to talk strategy in the time you had in between this challenge? Did people come up to you because you were the winner and you're safe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you form a strategy with anyone or a group?
No comment.
Okay. Played it close to the chest. Danny, did anyone come up to you? Did you go up to anybody? How was the social aspect?
Yeah, no one came up to me, but I came up to a couple people that I think have a move to make that I think will win them points when it comes to vote.
People not approaching you has been a noticeable part of your journey. Has that been hard in your game out here?
Yeah, it's been hard. You know, I've been a target for pretty much the entire day now, and I haven't won anything, so I've really had to try to get something going, and nothing has gotten going so far. But I think there is a move to make that I think will earn votes.
Now, Savannah, is there a part of you that's tempted to make a risky move? Is there a part of you that is tempted to make a safe move? Where do you feel like you lie on that scale?
Absolutely not. Everyone knows how I'm gonna vote, and I trust everyone to have my back, so.
At this portion of the game, there is no more use of safety rocks. The only protection is Mark sitting there having won the challenge. Superman is safe over here. Now, how important is that to you right now, that comfort, being safe from the vote?
I really need to piggyback what I said earlier. Had a very interesting start, and then middle of the game, I felt like I was a rope in the game of tug of war. And then come down to this challenge, I win one. So now it's like, all right, good. I can breathe a little bit. Yeah, I know I can't swim, so my head is actually above water this time. So,
Savannah, you are now the only woman left in the competition. You've watched women go out, vote after vote after vote. How does that feel to you? Is it upsetting? Are you happy it's not you?
I mean, obviously, I'm happy it's not me, but yeah, it's upsetting. I said to everybody that, like, I wished that, like, there was one more girl, you know. It would make just, like, me feel comforted and, like, feel like we have each other's back, but you know, like I made really strong bonds with everybody, regardless of their gender. So I'm glad to be like representing you guys as the last girl, but I think it could have been any one of us. And like, we're all equal competitors, so.
Danny, we'll now address you as the last member of the original orange team still standing. Originally, we had 4 orange, and we watched them get picked off by the green team. Talk a little bit about your journey that brought you here as the last person.
It's been tough. I've had to grind all day, and you know I'm still here, but I don't have too much of a resume, so I don't know. I don't understand the. I think if I get voted out, I think it's not any of these guys individually voting me out. I think it's a team thing. They kind of played a team game, so I think with them 3, it's going to be hard to differentiate who amongst them, amongst the same team, who's been kind of playing the same combined game.
JB, have you guys relied on having more players this whole game? You feel like that's played a big role?
Today, it was very easy who was loyal, who was not loyal, and right now, like as I always said, like it's coming down to this last moment, who's really loyal.
From what I can tell, you guys don't seem to be trying to hide it. The original green seems to still have a pretty strong bond out here. Now, Danny, like we talked about, you're the only original orange left. So what's your plea to our winner to bring you along with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in a position, if I stay, I think I'm in 3rd place. And I think there's going to be 2 people that have a better resume than me. But like you said, just trying to survive the next day. I think there's one person that's over here that I think that's played an awesome game. And I think it would be wise to make that move.
Is there any part of worry on this side of Danny that has lingering thoughts about where the vote is going to go?
I mean, at this point, I could say it could flip. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter right now. Like we can all say who we vote for at the end of the day by strategizing and all that, but we can all just turn any given. I'm just saying.
See, I disagree. I think that like I trusted everybody up until this point, so I still do. So I would hope that they have my back, but if not, then it'll be a surprise.
Let's put it in the form of a simple question. Do you feel like you want 2nd and 3rd, or do you feel like you want 1st?
Whatever the jury give me, I'm gonna take. So it doesn't matter.
Easy going, all right.
Easy going.
Savannah, same question to you. Would you risk it for 2nd and 3rd, or do you want to do everything you can for 1st?
I would love to win. Like, I think that's the reason that we all came here, is to win the whole thing. But I've like spoken privately with everyone that I started out with, and they know where I stand on if any of us win, and you know that was kind of our final goal. So they know where I stand.
Well, everyone said their piece. We're going to start from the left. Savannah, go ahead and vote.
I'm sorry, thinking.
You played an awesome game. It's my last ditch effort. I think everybody that's in the Final Four is pretty deserving.
It's our last vote in the game. I will grab the votes. And read the votes. Danny. 1 vote for Danny. Danny. 2 votes for Danny. Savannah. 2 votes for Danny. 1 vote for Savannah. Danny. The last person voted off of our team. You stuck in there. You're the last one from your original orange team, but it's time for you to go. Your game's over. Hand in your bandana. Well fought. Head on out. Survive the Challenge is brought to you by the Newport Richey Recreation and Aquatic Center, sponsored by Urban Air Adventure Park. From the very beginning, Green Team was a tight group. JB picked a team and decided to play this individual game as a group that will only look out for each other. In the first challenge, they had the clear advantage of numbers, but found themselves in a tight battle until the end. Superman wasn't picked by any team and used that as fuel for the rest of the day. He scored 2 valuable goals in the first challenge, securing their victory. In the second challenge, Savannah showed her skills as a leader and competitor. She took charge as the loudest voice on her team and competed in all 3 aspects of the challenge. By the time of the second team evaluation, she had found the only hidden safety rock in the game and earned 1 from the challenge, making her the only player to possess 2 at the same time. Despite the temptation to switch, Superman stayed loyal to the Green Team. Meanwhile, Savannah and JV used the safety rocks to protect themselves. Superman fought hard to win the final challenge and cement himself a place in the final 3, after being left to fend for himself at the previous team evaluations. Savannah, JB, and Superman have survived the challenge, and now it's time to face the bench. Now the power in this game is going to transition to our bench. The players that you all voted out of this game now hold your fate in their hands. They're going to come and address you with some questions. Carissa, you're first up.
Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about like loyalty, and clearly everyone is still here from the Green Team. So my question for each of you is, what did you do for your individual game? What strategies did you use? What strategic moves did you specifically make to prove why you should be number 1?
I'll start. So, I mean, I kind of had an advantage, and I don't know if that's lucky or not, but I had 2 safety rocks, and I could have used that in a different way and been sneaky and used it to my own advantage and kept it to myself. But I thought it was a strategic move, and it would prove my loyalty to all of them, is to put my trust in them and give them one of my rocks, and then trust JB to use that rock for what I told him to use it for and what we all agreed upon, and he did just that. So I think it was maybe a risky move, but I think it was probably the most strategic move that I made the entire game.
Kind of helped save you a little bit longer in the game. Cool. All right. Mark?
As far as an individual, honestly, I just believed in myself that I was going to be able to finish certain challenges, and also with the help of my teammates, I was pretty confident that we would get pretty far in it.
Your teammates aside, everyone keeps going back to their team. What did you do to make yourself win?
Well, I believed in myself, and also I just kind of had like a moment to myself where I kept telling myself, bro, you can't lose. This final challenge, you cannot lose. I don't give a what happens. You cannot lose.
Me, I would say my individual work was just like communication and checking surroundings, see who was talking to who.
So you feel like you're like really socially aware of where the game was at all times?
I had to see who was where, and what they were doing. Like I had to go check, because like you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like.
No further questions.
Everything for Kristen. All right, take a seat.
All right, I'm gonna have a different question for each of you. Savannah, you keep preaching loyalty, 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 and you were obviously very loyal. You're sitting with your original Green Team. but what did you do besides being loyal?
I think that, one, I played an amazing game from the start. I mean, I was a physical competitor, you know, just as much as I was a mental competitor and just as much as I was strategic and loyal to my team. I think I was a pretty well-rounded player as a whole, and I think that's what kind of got me here. I also feel that I was thinking like 2 steps ahead of what everyone on the other team or that wasn't in my alliance was going to do. And I was taking risky moves, but every time I proved myself right about what I thought you guys were going to do, and I always lucked out.
Mark, you mentioned in the last challenge how you didn't eat all day except for 1 slice of pizza with no cheese when you had every opportunity to eat food. So why didn't you, or what was your kind of strategy with that?
That advantage, I think I love and like everybody in here, but that advantage that I had over everybody with that was just because for what I do at work, whenever I'm not training somebody, I work for a moving company. So there are times where we don't get breaks. You know, we're constantly moving furniture from 2-story houses, 3-story houses on an empty stomach. And, you know, me and my team, we're just used to doing that. So that was, I figured, you know, if I could last more than 14 or 15 hours during a shift on an empty stomach, I could last less than that here.
Okay. JB, you said in the last question from Carissa, if either of the 2 of them won, like, you wouldn't be mad. And you were like, oh, if any of them win, that's cool with me. Why should we vote for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. If you would vote for me, I would say, like, I was just that type of team leader to probably be a role model for others. To, like, for when it came to being, like, honest. This is very hard. Cause, like, I'm always a person to look out for others, and, like, I wouldn't do something to make somebody else do if it was me. Like, for instance, Superman was in the middle of, like, the rope. Like, he could have plot twisted a lot of things, you know? And I felt like if I would have been sneaky, he would have probably thought of changing his mind. I wouldn't probably be here, like, as we speak.
All right. That's the end of Jackie's chance to speak. You can head on back to your seat. We'll hear from our next bench player. All right, Chrissy, come on up.
So I already know a lot about you guys and your strategies and everything like that, so I don't have too many questions. However, because I, got to know you guys, it is very hard for me to decide who I want to vote for. So I need you guys to dig deep and really tell me why I should vote for you. Why do you stand out from, my other partners? I guess we'll start. We've been going this way, so we'll start with you, JB. And I don't want no okay, this and that. I want you to be passionate about it. Tell me why I should vote for you, or else you're not going to convince me.
You're right. Great. Can you come back to me?
Sure. Superman.
The way we all started, it was perfect. It was perfect. Honestly, I really don't even know what to say to really plead my case here.
What made you stand out more than the others?
On our team or just in general?
In general, what made you stand out more than the others of our team? Like these 2 next to you.
I was motivated, just from the way the whole game started, not being picked, that's...
So I see you're repeating a lot of the things, so I'm gonna move to Savannah.
I think that from the get, I was a really big team leader, and I came up with strategies in the moment that helped us win games, and overall, I always had a mindset of like how to get me in the end and how to take my people with me. And I did just that. And I think that proves like how well that I played the game.
Okay, JB, did you come up with an answer yet?
Really digging deep down. I would say my main role, I was just like trying to solve. I would say like I was the problem solver, to be honest. I was more of a problem solver and on how to basically just be a go-getter. Also, sometimes I had to think for myself because once again, like if I ever got voted on myself, like I never would know who it would be, or I probably thought it would probably be a wrong guess. But at the same time, I was really like thinking for myself majority of the time. And
gotcha. And anything from Mark for this question?
She wasn't happy with your answer.
You repeated yourself, so I want to see if you have something that will stand out.
Christy, please don't deny me my fairy tale ending. Started off as an underdog, and they came through blazing. Please don't deny me of that.
Okay.
How's that?
All right. We've heard from Christy. It's the end of your chance to address our players in the game. Go ahead and take your seat, and we'll move on. Destiny, come on up.
Good work. That was tough.
And now my head's about to get chopped off.
It's hard.
Now my head's about to get chopped off.
Go ahead and address our players. Time starts now.
So, without trying to offend you guys, I was actually extremely disappointed in kind of all three of your games because none of you can stand out. And that was really disappointing to watch. I have two different questions. My first question for all three of you is, have you ever seen a game show in similarity to this on TV?
No.
Mark?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. So, if anything, that's beneficial to you guys because I really thought that I would see more of a strategic game. I guess my only other question, because you guys are answering the same, is, JB, I'll start with you. Put yourself in my shoes. Who would you vote for between Mark and Savannah?
Probably would choose Savannah, to be honest.
Why?
Because she was very smart. Like she thought 5 times better than me sometimes, and I'd be like, what? Like I don't think that's gonna happen. And when it came to like the final vote, it happened.
Okay, Mark, who would you choose between JB and Savannah?
Who I think will win? Who should win?
If you were out of the game, who would you vote for between the two of them?
If I were you, sorry, Savannah. I guess I would choose him if I were you, just because maybe I was seeing things. Maybe there's a little tension between y'all two during the whole thing. No, I might have seen that wrong.
Not if you were me as a woman. If you were on the jury, who would you vote for based off of their game? I'm sorry.
Man, you're killing me with these questions. Savannah. I will go with Savannah.
Why?
She's about 4'11", but very powerful. You know, mentally, physically, and she's 4'11".
Okay, and Savannah, between the two boys, who would you vote for?
I'm 5'1", by the way, so I think that I would vote for JB because I think that he led our team and he was the reason that we all bonded, and it wasn't because of me. It was because of him that we all made our alliance and that we all got together and that I felt like I could trust him, which made me feel like I could trust everybody else.
That's very interesting. Awesome. Yeah, Mark, I wish I could have watched you make a strategic move. I feel like it got put in your lap time and time again, and you failed to go after any opportunity to differentiate yourself from the two other players. And as far as the two of you go, it was great watching you guys. You guys were strong competitors. I didn't really see strategic things happening. I felt like most of it was, unfortunately, luck. The first competition was great and the last one was, but everything else seemed to come down to rocks. So I guess it just comes off of forming the team that you guys formed, and yeah, that's all I got.
All right, a couple of things I'll just say before I ask any questions. Obviously, it was an interesting position that we were all in, and I think even for me, I haven't been super passionate about very specific reality shows, but I have watched some other ones with similar strategy, and I kind of fault myself a little bit for not taking some risks that I should have taken. I think just speaking to everybody, I think a lot of us didn't know how far we'd ride it out. So I know we've talked a lot about loyalty and maybe overusing that word, but in the same sense, I think that there is a risk to being honest and being vulnerable too. So I give some of my former teammates and myself that we played a pretty, clean game, but I think that a lot of people did want to see more risk. I was put in a tough spot towards the end because if I didn't screw up, basically Savannah had risked everything to keep me alive, and JB was kind of a big contributor of that. So I guess my first question would be for Mark. Obviously, you had a little bit of an advantage in the middle, kind of getting pulled to both sides because you may or may not have been a target. But do you feel like your last competition and how you performed was enough to win everybody over?
To win everybody over, probably not. If anything, I think I probably shocked them all, seeing as how I've heard a couple of comments that my performance was okay, leading up to this whole entire point now. And so I really don't.
As respect to the game, everybody wants to, no one really cares about where my loyalties would lie, but obviously that's some of the play. But to respect for the game, I guess my question would be for JB and Savannah. You both were extremely loyal to me. How would you differentiate that or finally win me over on which you guys would have took me maybe further, or who was a little bit more loyal, I guess you could say?
A little bit more loyal. To be honest with you, I was willing to take that sacrifice. If we couldn't come down to it and she wanted to like by herself, I would have been like, all right, if somebody had to go. I didn't want to be Mark. I already told Mark. I gave him my word. I gave her my word. And I was going to be like, yeah, it's going to have to be me. So I was going to really, if for more loyalty, I would push myself. I would sacrifice myself for you to stay on.
Savannah?
You know from the get that I confided in you over everyone else when I first found the safety rock, because you were the only person that I felt like I had the best bond with and I trusted the most. And I based off solely what you said to me, what I did in the rest of the game. So, I mean, I think that my loyalty lies in putting all my trust in you and putting my fate in your hands, which I did.
Last question for both of you guys. If you could go back again, would you have taken more risks, or are you happy with the way it played out as far as being faithful to us?
Short answer.
I probably would have taken more risks. Probably like a little plot twist to it, if I did. But
I'm happy with the way it played out, but I do agree, like maybe it would have made it more interesting, but I'm happy because it made me sitting here today.
No, you gotta go.
Crap, but I didn't.
He's gotta go. He's got all the way around.
Yeah, just
walk all the way around.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll cut it. I was like, where am I going?
Leave now, right?
All right, Brittany, come on up.
I know they said keep walking around, so I was like, no.
So I too am disappointed with the way that I feel like you guys have represented your game. So as the last person, I'm going to not ask any questions of you guys. I'm going to try to sell your game for you individually. For you, Savannah, I think that being on the outside of your alliance and knowing that I was a target, I noticed very early on in the game, you were pulling people aside individually. I think that was a risk that I wish that you had mentioned, because that is a risk to do that. instantly puts a target on your back for other people, and it shows a leadership role for you within your large alliance. I think that's something that you could have mentioned as far as, because we're having a hard time between you three. You kind of have a lot of the similar story with that, obviously. Whether that came from a point of having safety rocks and feeling that security and being able to do that, we don't know, but I give you credit for that, obviously. Mark, I think you should have hit more on you winning this last challenge. You came back, you did a great job. Obviously, during the game, you were kind of in the middle. Some people, you know, on certain shows kind of want to be in that situation because a lot of times you don't have a target on your back. Whether or not you've tried to do that yourself, to put yourself in the middle, you were, and you could have taken more roles in that game to make a decision and make a move. Unfortunately, you didn't, but I do commend you for winning this last challenge. I think you did great. You did awesome. JB, you did not get any votes for you. I felt like you were in a very safe position most of the game. You did make a move with the safety rock that you showed it to me. I don't know if that was your idea, but you did that with the hopes of making Destiny and I not vote for you with our 2 votes. So I wish you had touched on that. That was a good strategy. It kind of put doubt in our mind, and I think that team evaluation was the most crucial part of the game. So I commend you for getting no votes and then obviously doing that as well. Savannah, I give you credit. You know, I obviously with 4 people left, I didn't want you to. You were the one person that I think had the best story. I think. And I think that you had the most potential appeal from the jury for your game. So that's why I decided to go against you. For you two, I kind of gave you that opportunity to make a big move. I know it's going against your alliance, but a lot of times when you're sitting here, when you're trying to differentiate between 3 people that have a very similar loyalty story, making a move and showing that you want to win the game by doing that, I thought that was a missed opportunity. So that's kind of all I have.
Danny, take your seat.
I gotta walk around?
You're good.
Okay.
The only one.
Let's give the mic to Andrew.
And that's the last vote in our entire competition. Time to find out who won. I'll go check the votes. After a long day and a hard-fought battle from everybody sitting out here, we're finally going to figure out who our sole champion is in this game. Now this, again, is the only part of the game where you want to see your name written down. So having your name written down just 4 times will be enough to win you this competition from the group that we have sitting over here. This is going to be the separating factor between who wins our $350 prize and walks out of here crowned the champion of this entire game, where we had 10 competitors who were fighting their hearts out in this game, dragging heavy sandbags, sprinting, running around, untangling ropes, playing in games, doing balancing challenges, everybody playing with grit and determination and playing their absolute hardest. And we're gonna find out who came out on top when I read these votes. First vote, Savannah. It's 1 vote Savannah. JB, 1 vote JB, 1 vote Savannah. Savannah, 2 votes Savannah, 1 vote JB. Savannah, 3 votes Savannah, 1 vote JB. And the winner of all of Survive the Challenge, Savannah, our champion.
I felt like being part of this experience was super unique and nothing I've done before, and I would love to do it again, although I do believe I would have a little bit of a target on my back, and everyone was gonna watch this back and figure out my strategy, I had never seen any type of show along these lines before, so I kind of went in with no strategy, figured out a great one. Don't really have another one if I played again. I would really have to take time to figure that out, but I just had the best time and, made really great friends along the way, and these are all people that I would hang out with again, I can't wait to watch this back and relive all the memories because it was really the greatest experience, and I wish everyone could have the opportunity to do something like this.
Survive the Challenge is brought to you by the Newport Richey Recreation and Aquatic Center, sponsored by Urban Air Adventure Park.
Stuff like this just gets me going, gets me excited and pumped, and yeah, I had a great time. Thank you guys for letting me be here.
So to actually be a part of something like this, I was wicked excited. Didn't know exactly what to expect, what kind of challenges, but I was all for it.
Overall, I would definitely recommend people to play this game if there is a second season. I would think everybody would probably enjoy it, especially that I already played.
I had a blast playing this. I think it exceeded my expectations for what we could do. I think the crew and the production team did a fantastic job.
I would like to sit back and see and volunteer and see how the game is with different people, because I just want to see it from two sides.
If there was a season 2, I think I would love to be on it.
I would absolutely try to get everybody that anybody can see. If you had a second season, I would try recruit some people just to see how it is.